The crew spent hours exploring the station, each corridor revealing a mixture of alien elegance and decay. Walls shimmered faintly with embedded lights, and control panels hummed with residual energy. Dr. Rafik crouched over one console, his fingers tracing the alien glyphs. "It's a communication matrix," he said. "I think it was meant to link multiple stations across the galaxy. If we decode it, we could understand their navigation systems as well." Mara knelt beside him, scanning the glyphs with her portable translator. "They must have abandoned it in a hurry," she observed. "Some sections are damaged, but there's enough left to figure out the logic." The captain walked down the hallway, observing the station through reinforced visors. "Remember," he said, "we're here to learn, not to rush. The moment we act recklessly, we risk more than just failure. This tech isn't just advanced, it's alive in a way. It adapts." Despite the warnings, excitement coursed through the team. Engineers marveled at the alien circuits, their designs elegant and alien yet intuitively understandable. Humans had a unique advantage, creativity born from necessity. While the aliens who created this technology had relied on rigid protocols, humans had learned to think outside constraints. They could improvise, invent, and see patterns that others overlooked. As night fell over the dying star, the station glowed softly against the blackness of space. Crew members gathered in the central chamber where the warp core sat dormant, a silent monument of alien ingenuity. "Imagine what this could do," whispered Lieutenant Chen. "We could travel farther than anyone has ever dreamed in ways the original creators never allowed." Dr. Rafik smiled, eyes reflecting the glow of the core. "And if we succeed, we will do more than just travel. We will show the galaxy that human intellect isn't limited by what others think is possible. They underestimated us. They always do." Tors looked around at his team, pride swelling in his chest. "We're explorers," he said softly. "Not just of space, but of potential. Every species has limits. Humans, we push them." Suddenly, sensors picked up a flicker of energy near the station's core. Mara froze. "Core readings are fluctuating," she said, voice tense. "It's responding as if it's aware we're here." The room went silent. Everyone stared at the warp core, whose faint glow now pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. The humans realized that this technology was not static. It had been waiting dormant for a species capable of understanding it, and in its own alien way, it recognized them. "Careful," Dr. Rafik warned. "One wrong touch, one wrong sequence, and we could trigger a feedback loop. It could destroy the station or worse." Tors nodded. "Then we proceed carefully, step by step. We document, we test, and we learn. This is what humans do better than anyone else. They adapt, improvise, and thrive where others fear to tread." That night, the crew worked tirelessly, recording data, taking measurements, and testing isolated circuits. The station seemed almost cooperative, as though encouraging them. Small lights flickered in response to their presence, and holographic displays revealed patterns that humans quickly deciphered. By dawn, they had achieved a breakthrough. A minor subsystem of the warp core stabilized under human guidance, functioning in a way the original creators had not intended. The energy hum was steady, controlled, and remarkably safe. Mara stepped back, eyes wide. "We did it," she breathed. "We actually did it. The core, it's responding to us." Tors placed a hand on her shoulder. "This is only the beginning. Others have called this technology impossible. They thought it was too dangerous, too unpredictable. But humans, we turn the impossible into the possible." As the sun of the dying star cast long shadows through the station, the crew realized something profound. They had not just discovered alien technology, they had discovered a reflection of human potential. Courage, ingenuity, and determination had brought them this far, and it would carry them even further. Somewhere in the depths of the galaxy, observers might have been watching, waiting to see humanity fail. They would be wrong. The warp core hummed softly, a pulse of alien energy that now recognized human ingenuity. And with that recognition came a promise. The galaxy was about to witness what humans could do when they refused to be limited. The morning light of the dying star glinted off the station's metallic hull as the crew gathered in the central chamber. The warp core pulsed steadily, a silent rhythm that seemed almost alive. "Today we begin the real work," Captain Tors announced, his voice calm but full of authority. "We study, we learn, and we rebuild, step by step, nothing reckless." Lieutenant Mara Chen led the engineering team to the core's interface. "We need to understand how it stabilizes," she said. Every alien attempt failed because they didn't anticipate adaptive feedback. Humans think differently. That's our advantage. Dr. Rafik ran a series of diagnostics, his fingers flying across the console. The system isn't just technical, he said, eyes wide with excitement. It's semi-organic. It reacts to intelligence. It adapts to whoever is operating it. That's why no alien civilization could stabilize it fully. They lacked the right combination of intuition and improvisation. The team began carefully reconstructing one segment of the warp system. Broken conduits were replaced with human-engineered substitutes, combining alien design principles with human innovation. Where the alien creators had relied on rigid sequences, humans introduced adaptive algorithms, allowing the system to learn from errors rather than fail catastrophically. Engineer Keiko Tanaka leaned over the schematics. "We're essentially teaching it to trust us," she said. "If it fails, it's because it doesn't recognize our logic. If it succeeds, it's because human creativity filled the gaps they never imagined." As the days passed, small successes built confidence. Isolated subsystems functioned with greater stability than ever recorded. Mara and her team discovered that, by integrating human problem-solving approaches with alien engineering, they could bypass inherent flaws. Where alien civilizations saw impossibility, humans saw opportunity. Meanwhile, sensors on the outer rim of the station picked up strange signals. Alien observers had noticed unusual activity. Fleets from nearby systems were dispatching scouts to investigate. The humans were aware, but they remained focused. They didn't fear the galaxy, they thrived in its challenges. Dr. Rafik's voice cut through the hum of machinery. The core responded again. It's almost like it's communicating. Tors raised an eyebrow. Communicating. "Yes," Rafik said, excitement clear. "When we applied adaptive algorithms, the core emitted patterns that aren't just energy fluctuations. They're structured, intentional. It recognizes us as intelligent operators. That's incredible. No alien has achieved this before." Mara stepped closer to the core, hand hovering above the interface. "It's like it's testing us, like it's asking, are you worthy?" Tors nodded. "Then we show it what humans can do, cautiously but decisively. Adaptation, creativity, courage, these are our strengths. That's why we succeed where others failed." The team continued refining their systems. Each test brought improvements. Each failure taught lessons. They learned to anticipate the warp core's responses, to improvise on the fly, and to solve problems intuitively rather than strictly following alien protocols. In the evenings, as the crew gathered in the mess hall, conversations buzzed with excitement. "We're rewriting the limits of what this technology can do," Keiko said, grinning. "It's responding to human logic, not just alien design." "And that's the point," Mara added. "We're not just copying them, we're improving. We're proving that humans don't just adapt to technology, we make it better, smarter, safer." Tors looked at his crew, pride swelling in his chest. "Remember this moment. Others will call this impossible, dangerous, or reckless, but humans have a way of redefining boundaries. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us unstoppable when we work together." As the final subsystem was stabilized, the warp core hummed with a steady, harmonious energy. It glowed brighter than before, responding predictably to human manipulation. The crew stood back, awestruck. They had not only rebuilt part of the warp technology, they had taught it to trust human ingenuity. From outside, alien scouts approached cautiously, unaware of the breakthrough inside the station. They had assumed humans would fail, just like every other species. But humans were different. Humans could see patterns where others saw chaos. Humans could innovate where others froze in fear. The realization hit the crew simultaneously. This was only the beginning. They were no longer merely explorers or engineers. They were the first humans to master technology that had been deemed untouchable for millennia. The galaxy was watching, and it had no idea what was coming. Tors placed a hand on the core's interface, feeling the subtle vibration under his palm. "We're ready," he said quietly. "Ready to take the next step, ready to show the galaxy what humanity can do when no limits are allowed." And with that, the stage was set. The warp core had been rebuilt, stabilized, and tuned to human ingenuity. The impossible was now within reach, and the galaxy would soon learn that humans were not to be underestimated. By the time the humans had stabilized the warp core, subtle changes had begun to ripple across nearby star systems. Alien civilizations had sensors attuned to unusual energy signatures, and the steady, harmonious pulse from the station caught their attention. Fleets that had once dismissed humanity as primitive were now curious, cautiously, warily curious. Lieutenant Mara Chen monitored communications from the ship's bridge. "Captain, multiple systems are scanning our sector," she said. "They've detected the energy output. Some are dispatching envoys." Captain Torres leaned back, fingers steepled. "Good. Let them watch. Let them underestimate us for a little longer. Observers rarely expect humans to act with both intelligence and restraint." Dr. Rafik, seated at the engineering console, shook his head with excitement. "They think we'll panic, fail, or trigger a catastrophe, but humans do not react the way others do. We think differently, adapt faster, and improvise when needed. That is our advantage." As alien scouts approached the station, the humans continued their work with unwavering focus. They tested the rebuilt warp system on smaller drones, watching in awe as the drones achieved stable, controlled warp jumps. Each jump demonstrated not only technical skill, but the intuitive problem-solving that had eluded alien civilizations for centuries. Mara studied the results. "It's responding better than we expected. Even when we introduce variables the aliens couldn't handle, it adapts seamlessly. It's like it's learning from us as we learn from it." Torres nodded. "Exactly. It's the human touch. Others rely on perfection and protocol. We rely on creativity, courage, and the willingness to try something no one else dared. That's why we succeed." Meanwhile, alien envoys arrived in small, sleek ships. Their holographic messages flickered across the Endeavor's bridge. "Humans," the alien leader said, voice formal and measured. "You tamper with technology that is forbidden. Cease your activities immediately or suffer consequences." Torres allowed a slow smile. "We are not tampering. We are understanding. We are learning. And in doing so, we are demonstrating that humans are capable of achieving what others have failed to master for centuries." The alien envoy paused, uncertainty flickering across its face. "Your species, you are not like the others. Why do you continue despite the risk?" Mara stepped forward. "Because humans don't accept limits imposed by fear. We explore, we adapt, we create solutions. We don't wait for others to approve what we can achieve." The envoy's expression shifted from condescension to cautious respect. Torres knew this was the turning point. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, but that underestimation was about to vanish. Over the following days, humans continued to perfect their reconstruction of the warp technology. They mapped energy conduits, tested adaptive algorithms, and simulated long-range jumps with unprecedented accuracy. Every improvement demonstrated not only skill, but the uniquely human approach of trial, error, and ingenuity. Alien observers recorded everything, their curiosity transforming into unease. Fleets that had once ignored humanity were now unsure how to respond. If humans could stabilize this warp technology, what else could they accomplish? The implications rippled across political and military circles alike. On the Endeavor, the crew gathered for a debrief. "We've done more than rebuild their technology," Dr. Rafik said. "We've changed the galaxy's perception of humans. They assumed we would fail. They assumed we were predictable. We've proven both assumptions wrong." Torres looked out at the alien fleets hovering at the edge of their sector. "And we will continue to prove it," he said. "Every system watching us now will learn the same lesson. Humans are capable of what no one else dares to try. We don't just survive. We excel, adapt, and triumph." Mara smiled at the crew. "We've got their attention, but we don't need to fight or threaten. Our ingenuity speaks for itself. That's what makes humans different." As the alien fleets retreated to report their findings, a quiet thrill ran through the Endeavor. The humans had not only mastered the technology so far, they had done it with precision, courage, and ingenuity. The galaxy was watching. It had underestimated humanity. And soon it would understand that humans were a force unlike any other, capable of bending the impossible into reality without losing their integrity, their ethics, or their resolve. The warp core pulsed steadily, as if acknowledging the humans' success. And somewhere deep in the shadows of the stars, observers took note. The species they had dismissed might be the one that changes everything. The crew of the Endeavor had proven the warp core could be stabilized on a small scale. Now, Captain Torres faced a more ambitious task, building a full-scale warp-capable vessel. Unlike the drones and test modules, this ship would carry humans across interstellar distances, and the stakes had never been higher. Lieutenant Mara Chen walked through the hangar, studying the ship's skeletal frame. "It's enormous," she said, eyes wide. "If we get this wrong, the consequences are catastrophic." Tors placed a hand on her shoulder. "And that's exactly why we can't fail. Humans have a way of taking challenges others fear and turning them into triumphs. That's what makes us different." Dr. Rafik examined the warp core interface, which had been adapted for the full-scale vessel. "We've integrated adaptive algorithms, redundancies, and new cooling systems," he explained. "The core can respond to human decisions in real time. The aliens never achieved this. They lack the intuition, creativity, and problem-solving flexibility humans bring." Engineers worked tirelessly, fusing alien technology with human innovations. Panels were modified, energy conduits reinforced, and navigation systems rewritten from scratch. Every improvement reflected the human ability to adapt and improve on ideas that had already been perfected. Except, in this case, humans saw flaws where aliens had seen perfection. Mara studied the schematics. "We're essentially redesigning the impossible. The aliens assumed this tech was too volatile, too unpredictable. But humans thrive where others freeze. That's our advantage." Outside, alien fleets lingered at the edge of the sector, their curiosity growing into cautious concern. They had watched the humans stabilize the core and feared what they might do next. Some fleets debated sending armed intervention, but hesitation lingered. Humans acted with precision, creativity, and restraint, qualities the alien civilizations struggled to understand. Tors convened the crew for a strategy meeting. "We're not just building a ship," he said, voice steady. "We're demonstrating what humans can accomplish when we refuse to accept limits. Our goal is mastery, not recklessness. Every system we design, every modification we make is a statement. Humans are capable of achieving what others could not even dream of." As construction progressed, the warp-capable vessel began to take shape. Its hull gleamed with reinforced alloys, circuits hummed with the adaptive intelligence of the core, and navigational arrays stretched like the fingertips of human ingenuity. The ship wasn't just functional. It was a testament to human creativity, boldness, and determination. Engineer Keiko Tanaka tapped a console. "We've integrated feedback loops that anticipate turbulence in spacetime even beyond the original alien designs," she explained. "It's safer, faster, and more adaptable than anything they built. This is a human ship in every sense." The crew paused at each milestone, aware of the eyes watching them. Alien observers remained in orbit, their skepticism now tinged with awe. The humans' progress was methodical, precise, and undeniably effective. Every subsystem completed, every test passed, added to the growing realization. Humans did not merely mimic alien technology, they improved it. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. The warp vessel stood ready, its systems humming in perfect harmony. Mara and Rafik monitored the core, ensuring that every adaptive algorithm responded correctly. Tors approached the bridge, surveying the ship with pride. "This is humanity's achievement," he said softly. "Not because we copied, but because we dared to imagine something better." As the first test sequences began, energy readings remained stable. The ship responded to human input flawlessly. Even the adaptive core, which had once been unpredictable, now operated like an extension of the crew's own ingenuity. Outside the station, alien scouts hesitated, unsure how to react. They had predicted instability, failure, even catastrophe. Instead, they witnessed a species they had underestimated, achieving the impossible with careful skill and creativity. Tors turned to the crew. "This is more than a ship," he said. "It's a symbol of what humans can do. Others feared failure, but we embrace it, learn from it, and turn it into success. The galaxy is watching, and we will show them the future of humanity." The vessel's engines thrummed, ready for its first warp jump. The crew had rebuilt the impossible, improved upon it, and prepared to push the boundaries of interstellar travel. The stage was set. Humans had not only matched the alien creators, they were about to exceed them. And somewhere beyond the stars, the galaxy held its breath, about to witness humanity's next leap. The warp-capable vessel stood ready, gleaming under the light of the dying star. The hum of its adaptive core filled the hangar, steady and confident, almost as if the ship itself were aware of the human minds controlling it. Captain Tors stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the array of monitors. Around him, the crew moved with precision and quiet excitement. Lieutenant Mara Chen adjusted the navigation settings. "All systems are green, energy levels are stable, adaptive algorithms synced. We're ready, Captain." Tors nodded. Engage the warp sequence, slowly, step by step. Let's show the galaxy what humans can do. The vessel's engines glowed brighter, conduits pulsating with the steady rhythm of controlled energy. Outside, alien scouts hovered at the edge of the system, watching with skepticism and apprehension. They expected failure, an uncontrolled burst, a spectacular disaster. What they did not anticipate was human ingenuity. Dr. Rafik monitored the core. The system is responding beautifully. Adaptive feedback is stable. It's perfect. With a deep breath, Tors gave the order. Initiate warp jump. The ship shuddered slightly as energy built in the warp conduits. Myra's fingers danced over the console, adjusting the core's output in real time. Core stabilization is holding. Energy fluctuations are minimal. We're clear. Then, with a hum that resonated through every deck, the vessel vanished from normal space, leaving the alien scouts blinking in astonishment. Sensors outside registered a faint distortion, a ripple in the fabric of space-time, but no catastrophic energy spike, no uncontrolled explosion. Humans had succeeded where every other civilization had failed. Inside the ship, the crew felt a strange, thrilling sensation, as if the stars themselves were bending around them. Mara's eyes widened as she watched the displays. "We did it," she whispered. "We actually did it. The warp drive works fully, safely." Tors allowed a small smile. "Not just safely," he said. "Elegantly, humans do more than survive danger, we master it." The first jump took them farther than any alien civilization had dared in this sector. Sensors recorded every variable, every response of the adaptive core. The vessel glided through space-time with precision, human intuition guiding its path as much as any algorithm. Dr. Rafik shook his head in amazement. "It's learning as we go, every maneuver, every adjustment, this technology responds to us. No alien ever achieved this harmony." Mara grinned. "They assumed humans would be reckless, unpredictable, even dangerous. Instead, we are proving that we can take their greatest challenges and turn them into accomplishments." After a tense few hours, the vessel prepared to return. Tors keyed in the coordinates for the original system. "Bring us home," he said simply. The warp core pulsed, responding seamlessly to human input. The stars blurred, colors shifting as the vessel re-entered normal space. Alien scouts who had followed at a cautious distance could hardly believe their readings. The ship reappeared exactly where it had begun, unharmed, stable, and functional. From the observation decks, Mara and the crew watched the alien ships transmit frantic messages to distant fleets. The galaxy had underestimated humans. The species that others dismissed, feared, or ignored had accomplished what no other civilization had dared attempt. Tors addressed his team. "Remember this moment. This is what humans do best. Where others fail, we adapt. Where others fear, we create. We've taken the impossible and made it routine, not for conquest, not for glory, but because that is what humans are capable of." Even the alien observers could not help but recognize the achievement. Whispers of respect, disbelief, and cautious admiration spread through their ranks. A species once thought unremarkable had not only mastered forbidden technology, but had done so with precision, control, and creativity that surpassed all expectation. Myra looked at the warp core, its glow steady and reassuring. "We could have used this to dominate," she said quietly. "But instead, we chose to return it safely. That's the real difference. We respect power, but we don't let it control us." Tors nodded. "Exactly. This isn't about proving we're superior. It's about showing the galaxy what humans can achieve when they combine courage, creativity, and intelligence. That is the legacy we leave behind." The first long-range warp jump was complete. Humanity had not only reached farther than any civilization in this sector dared, but had done so with ingenuity, ethics, and unparalleled skill. As the stars settled back into their normal positions, the crew of the Endeavor understood something profound. The galaxy had witnessed the first demonstration of what humans could truly accomplish, and this was only the beginning. The news of the humans' warp jump spread faster than the alien fleets could comprehend. Across multiple star systems, envoys transmitted reports of the Endeavor's flawless journey, the stabilized warp core, and the sheer audacity of humanity. Where once there had been skepticism, now there was shock and a growing sense of unease. Lieutenant Mara Chen stood on the bridge monitoring alien communications. "They're debating what we did," she said. Some want to contact us, others they're planning responses. They didn't expect humans to succeed. Captain Torres leaned over the console, eyes sharp. Good. Let them debate, let them question. That's what humans do. We act where others hesitate, and while they argue, we advance. Dr. Rafik adjusted his sensors, tracking movements from multiple fleets. They assumed we'd be reckless, that the warp drive would destabilize. Instead, we've proven precision, innovation, and adaptability can succeed where others failed. The galaxy didn't just underestimate us. They misjudged what it means to be human. Alien envoys arrived in the system cautiously, their ships hovering at a respectful distance. A holographic projection flickered to life on the Endeavor's bridge. The alien leader, a tall, angular figure with glowing eyes, spoke with measured caution. Humans, your actions are unprecedented. You have mastered technology deemed impossible. Why do you not use it to dominate, to assert control? Torres regarded the projection calmly. We have no need for domination. Power without purpose is meaningless. Humans master challenges because we seek understanding, creativity, and progress, not conquest. That is what sets us apart. Mara stepped forward. We could have weaponized the warp core, taken control of your fleets, or claimed territory, but humans respect technology and the responsibility it carries. Our choice was deliberate, mastery, not misuse. The alien leader paused, its expression unreadable. You are unlike any species we have encountered. Others sought conquest or feared failure. You adapt, improvise, and succeed where we could not. It is remarkable. Across the galaxy, fleets recorded transmissions, their leaders conferring urgently. Some proposed alliances, hopping to learn from humans. Others suggested caution, fearing a species that combined creativity, intelligence, and courage in ways the galaxy had not seen. Back on the Endeavor, the crew worked tirelessly, refining the warp vessel and preparing for further tests. Every improvement, every modification, demonstrated not just skill but uniquely human intuition. Where alien civilizations relied on rigid protocols, humans innovated, adapted, and solved problems on the fly. Lieutenant Chen smiled at the readouts. They're realizing we're not just clever, we're consistent. We think differently, act differently, and succeed differently. That's why they can't predict us or stop us. Torres nodded. Exactly. Humans have a way of reshaping expectations. The galaxy assumed limitation, but we show potential. Our ethics, intelligence, and adaptability work together. That is what makes humans extraordinary. Dr. Rafik interjected, excitement clear in his voice. They're trying to study our methods, but human innovation isn't formulaic. It's creativity under pressure, ingenuity in unexpected circumstances. That's why they can't fully anticipate our next move. Even as the alien fleets debated, humans continued to advance. Smaller warp vessels were tested, navigation algorithms refined, and communication protocols improved. Every success reinforced the lesson the galaxy was learning. Humans could not be underestimated. Mara glanced at the crew, pride swelling in her chest. We've earned their respect not through force but through skill, intelligence, and perseverance. That's what humans do best. Torres added, and respect is more powerful than fear. They understand now that humans are a species to be watched, admired, and sometimes challenged. But above all, humans are a species that never backs down from what seems impossible. As the alien envoys withdrew to report their findings, the crew of the Endeavor knew that the galaxy's perception of humanity had changed forever. They had demonstrated mastery, ethics, and courage on a level no one had expected. The warp core pulsed steadily, as if acknowledging the humans' triumph. Humanity had proven its ingenuity, reshaped interstellar assumptions, and established itself as a force the galaxy could no longer ignore. For the first time, the crew understood the magnitude of what they had accomplished. Humans had not only rebuilt the impossible, they had done so in a way that demanded recognition, respect, and admiration. And in doing so, they had carved a new place for themselves in the stars. The galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. The galaxy had taken notice. Across star systems, messages spread of humanity's triumph, the mastery of the once impossible warp technology, the careful yet daring first jump, and the audacity to return it unharmed. Alien civilizations that had once dismissed humans now studied them with fascination and a growing respect. Lieutenant Mara Chen stood on the Endeavor's observation deck, watching alien scouts move hesitantly through the sector. "They're curious," she said. "Some are cautious, others are impressed. All are watching humans differently now." Captain Torres nodded, his eyes sharp. "They assumed we were a minor species, predictable and limited. They didn't account for our creativity, courage, or adaptability. That's why humans succeed where others fail." In the days that followed, humans received unexpected visits from emissaries seeking dialogue, collaboration, and insight. One such envoy hailed from a technologically advanced species that had once prided itself on warp mastery. Their representative, a tall figure with silvery skin and luminescent eyes, projected a hologram in the bridge. "Humans," it began, voice formal but tinged with awe. "Your achievement surpasses our expectations. We underestimated your potential. You have done what our scholars could not accomplish for centuries. We wish to learn from you." Dr. Rafik leaned forward, excitement evident. "We did not just rebuild the technology, we improved it. Our approach combines intuition, creativity, and ethical responsibility, qualities you might find uniquely human." Torres addressed the envoy with measured pride. "We do not seek dominance or control. Our goal is understanding, mastery, and ethical progress. Humans achieve greatness not by brute force, but by innovation, collaboration, and perseverance." The alien envoy seemed to consider this. "Your methods, they are unorthodox, yet effective. We may wish to collaborate not out of necessity, but out of respect for your ingenuity." Mara smiled. "Collaboration is always welcome, but humans also believe in learning through experience. We improve as we explore, as we create, and as we face challenges others would avoid." Word of human accomplishment spread quickly. Other civilizations began sending observers, not as spies, but as students of a species that had redefined what was possible. Humans demonstrated mastery of technology, strategic thinking, and ethical responsibility, a combination no other species had shown at this level. On the bridge of the Endeavor, the crew reflected on their influence. "We're shaping perceptions," Mara said. "They see humans as more than explorers. They see a species capable of leadership, innovation, and ethical mastery." Torres nodded. "We are not seeking power for its own sake, but influence follows capability. The galaxy watches and it learns. Humans lead not because we demand it, but because we inspire it through action and example." Dr. Rafik gestured to the warp core. "Our technology, our approach, our success, it's teaching the galaxy a new lesson. That mastery is not only about intelligence, but about creativity, courage, and adaptability. Humans exemplify that lesson." The crew's work continued, improving the warp vessel and refining techniques. They tested new jumps, optimized energy flow, and developed advanced safety protocols that even alien engineers admired. Every demonstration reinforced the human reputation, a species that thrived where others feared, that created solutions where others saw only limits. Across star systems, political leaders, scholars, and fleets convened to discuss humanity. Some debated forming alliances, others suggested caution. But all recognized one undeniable truth: humans were no longer a minor species to ignore. Their ingenuity, courage, and ethical approach had set a new standard for interstellar achievement. Mara looked at her team. "We've done more than prove our skill. We've shown that humans can lead not by force, but by example. That's the real influence." Torres added, "And influence matters more than power. Humans earn respect through action, creativity, and ethical decisions. That is how we will shape the future of the galaxy." The warp core pulsed steadily, a silent affirmation of human mastery. The Endeavor and its crew had become symbols of innovation, courage, and integrity, a beacon for other civilizations to admire and emulate. For the first time, humans were not just explorers. They were recognized as leaders in innovation, capable of shaping the galaxy through ingenuity, ethics, and determination. And the galaxy had no choice but to take notice. The warp-capable vessel rested in the hangar, its adaptive core glowing with a steady, reassuring pulse. The Endeavor's crew had returned from their first long-range jump, their success now a defining moment in human history. Across the galaxy, civilizations whispered of humans, the species that had rebuilt the impossible and returned it unharmed, mastering technology thought untouchable for millennia. Lieutenant Mara Chen walked along the observation deck, looking out at the stars. "It's strange," she said softly. "We've done something incredible, yet it feels natural, like this is what humans were meant to do." Captain Torres stood beside her, arms crossed. It is natural for humans to challenge limits, to innovate, and to adapt. What makes us extraordinary is that we do it responsibly, with creativity and courage. That combination is what sets us apart. Dr. Rafik entered, holding a tablet covered in data. The warp core has stabilized beyond expectations. We've logged every fluctuation, every response. The technology has effectively learned to operate with human intuition. This is unprecedented. No other species has managed this level of harmony with such complex systems. Mara smiled. And yet the core isn't ours to exploit recklessly. We've proven what humans can do without misusing power. That's the real achievement. Tors nodded. Exactly. Mastery without recklessness. Innovation with ethics. Humans have the rare ability to combine intelligence, creativity, and morality into action that reshapes the galaxy without destruction. Beyond the station, alien civilizations observed and reported. Some sent envoys to collaborate, eager to learn from humanity. Others remained cautious, acknowledging the humans' potential while maintaining distance. Across the galaxy, one truth became undeniable. Humanity was no longer the underdog. Humans were innovators, leaders, and exemplars of what could be achieved through courage, ingenuity, and ethical decision-making. In the coming weeks, the Endeavor's crew trained other humans in advanced warp techniques. They refined protocols, taught problem-solving approaches, and shared lessons learned from adapting alien technology. Every demonstration reinforced humanity's reputation. Humans did not merely survive challenges, they mastered them, turning impossibility into achievement. Mara observed a holographic projection of a fleet of human explorers preparing for interstellar missions. "We're only beginning," she said. "There's so much more out there. The galaxy is vast, and humans have proven that no frontier is too distant, no challenge too great." Tors placed a hand on her shoulder. "And that is the true legacy. Humans don't just explore space, they expand possibility itself. Every achievement sets a new standard, a new expectation for what can be done. We inspire not through dominance, but through capability, ethics, and ingenuity." Dr. Rafik nodded. Other species are starting to adjust their strategies, their understanding of what a species can accomplish. They now recognize humans as a force to respect, a partner to collaborate with, and in some cases, a competitor they cannot underestimate. As the stars shifted overhead, the crew reflected on their journey. They had started by exploring an abandoned station, curious and cautious. They had rebuilt the impossible, stabilized technology no one else could master, and returned it safely. They had demonstrated to the galaxy that human creativity, courage, and intelligence could achieve what others feared to attempt. Mara looked out at the horizon of stars and whispered, "We've shown the galaxy who we are, but we've only scratched the surface. Humanity will keep moving forward, keep pushing boundaries, keep proving that limits exist only to be overcome." Tors smiled. "And that is the essence of being human. We learn, adapt, and innovate. We face challenges others avoid. We turn impossibility into achievement. Our legacy is not just the technology we master. It is the example we set for every species, showing what is possible when courage, intelligence, and ethics guide action." The warp core pulsed once more, steady and constant, as if affirming their achievements. Humanity had entered a new era, one of exploration, influence, and recognition. They had proven themselves capable of extraordinary feats without compromising their values. Across the galaxy, civilizations would remember this moment. Humans had rebuilt the impossible, mastered it, and returned it with respect. They had reshaped interstellar expectations, setting a precedent for what any species could accomplish when ingenuity, courage, and ethical responsibility combined. The Endeavor's crew stood together, gazing at the stars, knowing that this was only the beginning. Humanity's legacy was secure, not through conquest or domination, but through creativity, perseverance, and the enduring spirit that made them uniquely human. And as the galaxy watched, it understood one undeniable truth. Humans were a species to respect, to admire, and to learn from. The stars stretched infinitely ahead, but humanity had already begun to reach them.